Yes, it's Monday, and it's every other Monday, which means it's time for another episode of SideKick Power Hour. This is our second season of this little show that we started way back in some year called 2020, when we didn't have a whole lot of other stuff to do. But now that we do, we've broken things up. Good evening, Mike Schmidt. Thanks for being back with us. And we're here every other Monday, except we've got some news for you that we'll be talking about a little bit in just a little bit. Thank you, Krill, or is it Skrill or Skrilt? Skrit. Maybe it's Skrit. It's hard to tell. That's a very unusual font. So without further ado, let's get my co-host in here. It is Joshua Pangborn. Hello.
Hey, Nakia, how are you? Happy Monday, every other Monday.
Happy every Monday to you too. I'm well. You, on the other hand, have spent the weekend in a cabin in the woods shooting a movie.
Well, I thought I was going to go to a cabin in the woods and have to hunt and find some sort of demon monster, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So I made the time go by making a movie. Yes. So,
That's great.
yes, we had a really high chunkahedron. We had a really exciting experience with the Crewniverse, making a short horror film. And I can't wait for you all to see it in the coming months. I think you're going to really enjoy it. We have some favorite faces, and we have some really exciting returning surprises and all. It's going to be a really cute little film, and it's a beautiful location. I am very happy that we were able to spend our weekend at this spot. So thank you to our hosts again, and thank you to the person who organized it all, and that I shall keep quiet for now because it's part of the film. So,
More on that soon.
But more on that soon.
What other news is happening in the SideKick Crewniverse?
Well, in the SideKick Crewniverse, we have some exciting news from around the festival circuit. I'll have more details in a couple weeks, but we are getting nominations from New Zealand Webfest and from Baltimore Webfest, and both of those will be airing soon too. In fact, with the next Power Hour, I'll probably have some news about both nominations and what we may or may not have won from the Baltimore Webfest. So that should be very exciting for all of us to hear about. Also, this week it's a very special week. SideKick Power Hour wants to celebrate Ace Week. This is the week that we celebrate our asexual community in the queer rainbow. And if you are not familiar with asexuals or asexuality or the ace spectrum, it is an incredibly diverse spectrum of attraction, and there's so many things you can learn about that. And this is one of the best weeks to do that. If you go on Twitter, there are so many amazing people out there who are educating the community about asexuality. I highly suggest that you go out there and meet them. Asexuality is a very interesting and not so well understood identity, and it's not as simple as whether or not you have sex or not. It's more about related to attraction and sexual attraction, and whether or not you experience sexual attraction, how often you experience sexual attraction, what instances you experience sexual attraction. There are so many ways that one can identify with attraction, and researching roles like I researched with Rupert from Skeleton Crew, who is an asexual character. I learned a lot more about asexuality, and I learned a lot more about how the differences between sexual attraction, romantic attraction, aesthetic attraction, intellectual attraction. There are, I think, 7 different attractions total that are identified. So sexual attraction is just one of them, and sex and sexual attraction don't even have anything to do with one another necessarily. So it's a very eye-opening thing to research and learn more about. So I really encourage you, especially this week when we are celebrating asexuality, to go out and do that. Yeah.
And then folks have been asking about this little thing that I threw up on. We threw up on Instagram last week.
Hurt me. Well, I say yay.
Sex is the best sex. That's what we were really excited to see that the submission that we did for the Recording Academy's Grammy Awards did make it to the first round. So people had a chance to vote in that first round. Voting ended yesterday. So we're only up against every major Broadway show, so it's highly unlikely that we'll see a nomination or a win. But it's
never
really
know.
it's really cool to be on that ballot next to Assassins and A Strange Loop and
It really is.
Six.
It's very, very exciting to see that people who are voting on those amazing musicals will also take a look and see our musical, hopefully, and be like, "Oh, this is so cool."
Someone that was very someone that hey John, that was very musical that I always wanted to meet was Leslie Jordan, and sadly Leslie passed today. It's terrible news. A lot of people talking about that everywhere, obviously, but you know, for me, I grew up, you know, as a gay kid in Alabama, and you know, seeing him on Will and Grace, and I mean, it just Sorted Lives. I mean, all these amazing characters that he was a part of. Just so sad, and extra sad because he had just bought his first condo in LA, and he posted about it on TikTok. It was really, really sad. So, really hate that. But we're going to move on to introducing our friend that's on the show with us tonight. Oh, what's to say? Plus, the ace flag is black and purple. It is the most goth flag.
I mean, the ace flag is super cool. I have to say, black and purple, and I mean, right. Those tend to be SideKick colors, oddly enough, which is really cool too. I think so.
So we've got a special guest. We've got three special guests this week, I think. So,
and two special visitors. So
that's right. That's right.
Themselves.
So we're going to get right into it. We're
full of friends tonight.
So our first guest has worked in the unscripted television genre for over 10 years. Just won his first Emmy for Love on the Spectrum, which was a big hit, I believe, on Netflix, if I'm correct.
I think so, yes.
He worked with The Amazing Race, Big Brother, Project Runway, America's Got Talent as a casting producer. He's done a little bit of everything, and we're super excited to have him here tonight. The Emmy-Award winning Jeffrey Marx.
Yes, thank you for getting my name correct. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Jeffrey. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. I'm well. I had a little bit of a Halloween long weekend in LA, but I'm good. I'm on track. I've recovered.
You were judging caftans, I think I saw, right?
I was. I mean, the Emmy is finally paying off, you guys. I have the gig of the century this Sunday, which was judging the caftan contest at Precinct at Club Chub, which truly combines all of my talents.
Yeah, you know, I saw that, and I also saw that this weekend was Sam Kite's Halloween party. Did you go?
Oh yes, that's like a not safe for work details though. Yes, I did go to that party.
Well, one day I'm going to make it out there to that party. It looks so much fun.
Definitely recommend. Yes, it's a no phones allowed party, so that kind of gives you a direction of which it goes. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I'm saying then.
And there's you know it's definitely an LA Hollywood party for sure. So that's cool. Well, so glad that you could join us. It is really cool that you went from not being Emmy nominated to being Emmy nominated and then winning the Emmy. I know for myself, you know, it was really fun watching that journey on your Facebook page as you changed your name, which was fantastic. But you are already, you know, bounced into several other shows, and so we wanted to take a minute and talk about the show that you're working on right now, which is tentatively called Out. And I believe we've got a little trailer here that we can show, and then we'd love to hear a little bit more about it from you. So let's take a look.
Go for it.
And I'm going to leave that link up there for a second so that it can. There you go. So there is the link to apply. Jeffrey, tell us a little bit about this show. What can you tell us about the show? I think we might have lost your audio. Josh, do you have his audio?
I don't hear it, no.
Okay.
Jeffrey, 1 second. We're missing your audio.
Stand by. I'm going to pull him out, put him back in. How about now, Jeffrey? Can you hear us? No, we've lost his audio. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I'm going to do this. Hang on. Jeffrey, can you hear us? Raise your hand if you can hear us. Okay.
You can hear us. Okay.
Great.
Well, that's half the battle.
Okay. So do us a favor. Exit the studio and then come back in. That should fix it. Just close out the window. Oh,
sure. It's a great new show for a major streaming service, and what that's known.
Wow, his audio was coming from way back.
It's like his audio was back in time. I have never seen that before.
I've never seen that either.
That's why I love live shows, because you never know what's going to happen.
You never know.
But in the meantime, we can say hello to Jason in Paradise.
Hey, Jason. So glad you're here.
And Robert is very good suggestions from Robert, speaking softly and using a big microphone. Super helpful. I think that it's
all right, we're gonna try again. Let's see. I hear him coming into the studio.
I hear him. I see him.
Okay, Jeffrey, can you hear us?
Testing. Hello.
Yay. Okay, so tell us all about what you can about Out.
Sure, absolutely. So it's a terrific new show from a major streaming service, and what that is in the industry is we can't tell you which channel it's on yet, but it's for queer folks over the age of 40 who are single and newly out in their identity, like in the last 3 to 5 years, and they're kind of new to dating in their identity. So it could be maybe there was a man who was married to a woman and had some kids, but 20 years later has decided to live his truth as an out gay man and kind of wants some dating tips in the world. So, and it could be any number of things, but that's just one example. The fun thing about this show is they're all going to be living together to create queer family, queer community, all in a very queer friendly city with lots of queer dating options. And then a fun little twist is we are going to have Gen Z influencers, queer dating experts who came out in like 5th grade, who have lived their truth since the very beginning, to kind of coach these older daters into like, what's a red flag on Grindr look like? How to approach someone in a bar?
That's amazing.
Things like that. Yeah, and so not only will the younger generation be coaching the older generation, but the older generation with their histories and their stories and their experience will also be imparting their own wisdom to the younger generation at the same time. So it's a kind of intergenerational, queer, learn from each other extravaganza, and it's going to be a big show next year for one of the major streamers.
This is really targeting a demographic that I think it's easily overlooked in queer television and queer shows. I'm really excited by that concept. That's really
absolutely yeah. It's very exciting to work on stuff where there's always a factor of underrepresentation, which you do very well in your guys' work with your casting. I think it's really important to give voice to the people who don't normally are on TV, or who don't normally look like people you see on TV, or whose stories aren't often shared. So this is a demographic that does not usually have a show for itself, and we're very excited to bring that to life.
That's amazing. You definitely have really made a name for yourself in your industry as someone who's really passionate about telling real, authentic stories through the lens of reality TV. you were involved in We're Here, which is another Emmy Award winning show, which Joshua has yet to see. But Robert and I are just, I mean, like, dying for another season of it. But it's one of, again, small town gay kid here, like seeing that stuff happen in Alabama, in Texas and stuff. It's really, really impressive to see the community. And then I've been like peeking back at the Instagrams of some of the people that have been on it. And a lot of them have really thrived, like really thrived.
Oh yeah, they're all on different trajectories, man. Like the show really changed not only the community physically around some of them, but some of them have like left the town, gone to bigger cities. One guy's like doing acting and stuff now. Like there really is a lot of different change that the show brings. And to build a show like that with the team, it was truly the first time in television that everyone working on the show was like truly like a family. And I don't mean that in a, hey, we're family, so you're going to work here overtime and we're going to give you a pizza party. It really was like, oh, we're good people who are all operating at the top of our craft, like great show. I'm not happened to be working on season 3. There was like a pandemic, chaotic reason, and it doesn't matter. Everything's fine. I'm making more money now anyway. So, but season 3 will be a surprise to me. I'm a fan just like everyone else now, and I'm interested to see what those stories for season 3 are. But yes, I love that show.
Well, we're interested to see that too. I think that one of the things that people might not know about you is that you were also a contestant on a reality show. Now, I guess 10 years ago.
Yes, that's where I got my start into the industry. When I made friends with the production people all summer to try to get a job after the show ended. And that's how I got started in casting.
That is incredible. Well, we're going to show just a real quick clip. I think it's kind of, to me, it's very timely because this was taking place around the 2012 election. And here we are again at the 2022 election, and there's a lot more. To me, there's even seems like more division than there was then. And so this particular clip, I think, will still resonate with people today. Let's take a look from the Glass House, and this was on ABC. Maybe we'll see.
In the spirit of not overthinking things and letting this spiral out of control, I have arrived.
Okay, so I have my beliefs as far as
yes,
homosexuality.
ABC.
But what are your
Channel
beliefs about
7.
homosexuality versus not judging that?
I do not believe on acting on homosexuality tendencies.
So is that a chosen behavior or a born behavior?
Honestly, I think it's both.
So the understanding would be if you are born homosexual, you should live a life of chastity.
Yes. It is your choice to act on those tendencies. I'm not saying...
No, it's not a choice to act on those
Absolutely.
It's kind of like saying eating is a choice, though.
tendencies. Yeah,
That's not true. Like
it's
I said,
totally exactly like that. I've not heard that before.
I don't judge you based on how you feel you want to live your life.
I mean, but you do, though, if your belief is that I shouldn't be acting on
No,
my
but I
God-given
don't.
sexuality.
But I don't
You
judge...
just told me.
Yes, but I don't judge you as a person.
But you're probably then against legalizing gay marriage. You don't have to go into this if you don't
No,
want to.
because I want to. Why, instead of changing the definition of marriage, why can't we call it a
Because
civil
then
union?
it's separate but not equal, and we did that back in the 60s with black people. Did you vote yes on Prop 8?
Against gay marriage, yes. We can agree to disagree. But
No, there is no agree to disagree on this issue with me. A minority does not get voted on by a majority. You are a privileged white lady. You do not get to vote against me and people like me.
all I can do is stand here and respect you as a person.
But by voting against me like that, you do not respect me. And you realize it's going to get changed at some point. You're on the wrong side of history on this.
I get the emotion that comes from him, but I also feel like at that point, it's a personal attack.
And a vote against equality isn't a personal attack,
That's
Andrea?
fine. It's outside of, that's fine.
You have
I'm
not seen me do a personal attack yet. Trust me.
Oh my goodness.
I kind of want to go back and watch the whole thing. Oh, we're playing audio catch up again. Let's see. Jeffrey, your audio is acting up again, but I think it's going to come. I think it'll come back. It seems to do this only when we show clips.
You have to stop showing clips, I think.
Yeah. Damn it. Okay, well, the only thing is for you to go back and then come back in again.
Well, he's doing it. Good, because I have one question. Because I have a question for him that I'm gonna
Okay.
that came up from people in my Instagram that asked questions for me about his show. So hopefully he'll come back. But in the meantime, I'm glad that people were excited to see this. Chunky Hadron is excited to see Out, and I think everyone should be. I mean, a show about people who are over 40 and coming out for the first time is quite, I think, exciting and really important to watch.
I agree. Here we go. We're gonna get him back in here. Okay.
We do have a question. She's wearing oven gloves, by the way, Jeffrey.
Oh, on the show, there was a whole internet component where the viewers made people do things like either walk backwards all day or whatever. And that was the day that the whole house had to wear oven gloves on their hands.
Gotcha.
Is that why somebody had a cat on their shoulder?
Oh, that was just her little sidekick. That was just like a little doll she brought into the house. Yeah.
Well, you were really good on that show. I definitely would love to see more of it. But you know, there's no way that hasn't informed. Do you think that you learned how to do things the right way from that casting experience, or you learned how to not do things the way that they were done?
Sure, that's a good question about that. Yeah, I mean, I always have been a study of reality TV. I mean, I grew up in the culture of reality TV. My freshman year in high school was the beginning of Real World, so I just kind of absorbed all reality TV and became an expert at it growing up. So going into the casting process as a contestant, I just kind of instinctively knew what they wanted to say in an authentic way. I never put on oh, I bet you want me to hear this. I mean, I just knew how to dial up my natural self into a level 10 on camera personality of me, right? So I knew oh, I'm going to be stuck in a house with a Mormon lady. Gee, I guess I know what they want us to talk about eventually. So I kind of, pushed the button into a conversation one day when I was bored because I knew that was something they wanted to talk about. And because of that experience, I've become a very exceptional casting producer on the other side of the lens because I know what makes good TV. I know who's going to be able to be good at it. I know who's going to be able to hold up to the pressures of it. I know,
it is pressure,
I just know the chemistry of people. I can tell you about someone's life in a 15, 30-minute interview, and I can size them up pretty well. I should be a therapist, honestly, or like a lawyer, maybe. I don't know. But I just have a very good power of perception when it comes to the dynamics and the science of people.
Awesome.
Well, I'm so glad that you are doing what you're doing. You're putting great people on television. It's such a joy to call you my friend and get to spend some time with you a couple times a year. And we always have so much fun and laugh so much. We really appreciate you coming on the show to talk about Out.
I do have a question about Out, actually, Jeffrey. I would because we that we share your casting notices and everything on our social media. So somebody did reach out to me and asked if this were if only U.S. based contestants were allowed, or
they have to be legal U.S. residents. Now that doesn't mean they have to be citizens, but they have to be U.S. residents legally. So whatever that situation is, it depends on the person. And that's for insurance reasons and stuff like that with the studios.
Of course. Yeah, no, it's good to know that. So I'll because we have a very wide international audience with Skeleton Crew and all that shows. So sometimes when we share things on social media, they get a chance to see things like that. And I think that this is such a unique show with people focusing specifically over 40 years old, and there's such a large demographic outside of the U.S., especially who are coming out or not even able to come out, but are over 40 and looking for representation or looking for chances to find that love that they can't find because they're not allowed to. It's a whole it's a whole thing. But so I think this will speak to a lot of people, and I'm really excited for everyone to see it. So
yes, thank you for sharing it. And anyone who has any questions too can feel free to go to my Instagram, where all my casting notices live, and I will eventually get to a message. I will always see a message eventually. So feel free to shoot me anything there too.
Awesome. And that is the same right here on your name tag. It's at Jeff Marks the Spot, which is a very catchy Instagram. I'm so glad you secured it. And we thank you so much for coming on the show and can't wait to see the final product.
Yes, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. It was fun.
By the way, we didn't see the Emmy once.
Oh, it's over on my shelf. I no longer have it within reaching distance. It's been 2 months now. I don't want to be ghost.
I got to see it. So, and in the best way possible. So
yes, you really did.
Thanks so much again for coming.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, you too. Bye-bye. Oh, such a joy. I really love that guy. Very nice.
We might have to talk offline about where you saw the best way possible.
I think there are photos. There were people taking photos, so I'll see if I can dig one up. Yeah, that is too funny. Well, speaking of too funny, hey Guppy Zaddy, we have something fun for us to watch right now. Mm-hmm. I'm going to let you introduce this. Tell us what we're about to see.
We are about to have a special visit from a friend of ours from we watched in season 1 of SideKick Power. We watched the first season of his series, Anthonics Maximus, and he is stopping by to share some insights on his on his work and everything, and introduce us to his world and all. So, Nakia, why don't you hit play on our special guest, Anthonics Maximus himself? Anthony.
Okay, here we go.
I'm Anthonics Maximus, bitching to you about movies because tonight I'm going to take a break from that. Instead, I'm going to do a shout out to my friends at SideKick Power Hour. Hi Joshua, hi Nakia, hi Stuart, hi Ashley. I am on set of Anthonics Maximus. This is where I review movies. I have a couple series. I have Anthonics Maximus Reviews. That's where I review some of the older classics. And by classics, I mean anything that's geek or retro related. And I also have Anthonics Maximus Matinee. That's when I do an initial thought of a movie that just came out to theaters or streaming. There are spoilers, but I always give a warning. I say it's an honor for someone like me, Anthonics Maximus, to be on SideKick Power Hour. I get to see my friends every Monday, unless some of them decide to be taking a trip to Vegas. Working alongside SideKick Power Hour has always been a pleasure for me. You see, I'm knowledgeable about movies because I know how to press the record button and upload to YouTube. So if you ever want to check my work, go see Anthonics Maximus. You can find my channel at youtube.com/AnMaxProductions. So let's take this time and discuss me. So my life began when I was I am Dr. Cinema, master of all movies, sworn enemy to Anthonics Maximus. I am interrupting this feed on SideKick Power Hour. I will not allow Anthonics to hog all the glory. I'm the reason for bad movies like Cats and Morbius and every single Netflix movie. My greatest triumph yet is getting rid of Batgirl. That's right. I've accomplished something that none of the other Gotham villains can do. I got rid of Batgirl. Joker may have paralyzed her, but I destroyed her. I'm sorry. Were you expecting a Batgirl movie? Were you hoping to see a competent Batgirl movie not starring Alicia Silverstone? Then you're gonna have to get your Brendan Fraser fix from somewhere else. Sure, it would have been great to see Batgirl played by Leslie Grace, but the reason why I merged Warner Brothers with Discovery is because I wanted to put Brendan Fraser in his place. For too long, he has been riding high with Encino Man and George of the Jungle. But not this time. I will not allow his big break to be through Batgirl. He was going to play Firefly, but instead his new rise to fame will be playing a whale. Yes. Were you excited for Michael Keaton to return as Batman? Sorry, you're just gonna have to enjoy him through Morbius. I knew you would like him too much as the Vulture in Spider-Man, so I brought him back in, of all movies, Morbius. I know what you people like, and I will take that away from you. Batgirl was 90% finished, and we've lost a lot of money from it, but that's not gonna stop us from canceling it. Viva Discovery! You wanted to see more J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon, even though it makes no sense that his Commissioner Gordon is working with Michael Keaton Batman. I'll take that away from you too. But don't worry, you can always see Michael Keaton as Batman in the Flash movie, provided that Ezra Miller behaves. Yeah, I'm not sure why I decided to infiltrate Anthonics Maximus during SideKick Power Hour, but here I am, and here I go, till another time. And then they told me, just apply it twice a day and it should clear up in a couple weeks. I'm gonna assume that you heard everything I said and nothing is out of context. So, don't forget to check out my YouTube channel and Max Productions and my friends at SideKick Power Hour. I hope you guys have a great night.
That was so much fun.
Well, Anthonics is always full of wit and wisdom and movie trivia. And who would have thought that Dr. Cinema himself would crash that broadcast? I mean, that was unexpected.
Well, thank you to Anthonics for sending it in.
Mm-hmm.
And we have another special treat for our folks at home. We have a little interview
Yes,
that we taped.
Absolutely. Nakia and I, back in July, was it July or August?
July, I believe.
Yes, July. So back in July, a wonderful little collection of stories came out called Diet Riot, a Fatterpunk Anthology. And it is a collection of fat-positive horror stories, which was edited by Sonora and by Nico. And they are amazing, amazing artists and writers. And they put together what we consider to be a very important collection of stories in the world of horror fiction, because they do fat positive horror and we're doing fat positive horror. So it seemed like a logical synergy to bring them onto the show to talk about it. Now, we wanted to make sure we got an interview with them at the height of and the release. And so we touched base with them as soon as the book was coming out. And here's the interview that Nakia and I did with them.
We are so excited today to have a quick SideKick Power Hour interview with some amazing folks who have put out something amazing that I think you're going to love and Josh thinks you're going to love. I'm going to let Josh tell us all about it, and we'll bring in our guests one by one. Josh, take it away.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Nakia. We have a real beautiful place in our heart for fat positive horror. As all of our SideKick Universe fans know, fat positive horror is sort of one of the central tenets of what we do here at SideKick Productions. And when I come across fat positive horror, I think it's not just a duty, but a pleasure to share it with all of you and try to spread it around and make sure people get a chance to get more exposed to it. And I am thrilled to say that I have seen on Twitter a wonderful collection of stories called Diet Riot, a Fatterpunk Anthology. And we are very, very fortunate tonight to have the editors of Diet Riot here with us tonight.
Yes, let me bring in our first guest. This is Sonora Taylor.
Hello.
Hi, Sonora. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. Why don't you start by telling our audience a little bit about yourself?
Thanks. Yeah, well, my name's Sonora Taylor. I've written 7 books and now edited 1 anthology, Diet Riot, which I co-edited with Nico Bell. I write novels as well as short stories. I have a story coming up in a couple anthologies coming out this year, including I believe it's called this is horrible. I forget the name of the anthology now, but it's an anthology themed around greed from D&T Publishing, and then I also have a story coming up in Chromophobia from Sarah Tantlinger. So you can learn more about me at sonorataylor.com.
Fantastic.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
And then let's get our second guest in here. Please welcome to SideKick Power Hour, Nico Bell.
Hello.
Hi, Nico. Welcome. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I am a horror and sci-fi author, editor, and book reviewer. And I've been doing this for quite some time now, and I'm just really excited to put out a lot of like B-horror comedy creature with a lot of feminist and fat positivity horror into the universe.
That sounds like it's right up my alley, so I love it. Really though, thank you so much for making the time, both of you, to be here tonight, because I really mean what I say when I say I want to not just talk about the work that we do on this show, but the work that other people are doing, especially in the realm of fat positivity and horror, 2 areas which I love a lot, and when they coincide, I love it even more. So why don't we start just by talking about Diet Riot? What inspired this anthology?
Yeah, so it was inspired by a desire to get some fat positive horror into the universe. There really isn't a lot of it out there. And I really wanted to empower people by showing them that fat characters can be the heroes in their stories, that they're not always going to be, the goofy friend or the villain. They can really be the shining moment. And so I knew Sonora felt very similarly. We've talked on Twitter before, and I knew she had a similar outlook. Her writing is incredible. I knew she'd be a fantastic editor with me. So I was really excited that she agreed to do the project with me. And I think we put something pretty special into the universe.
That's fantastic. So Nico, was the idea yours to begin with, or did some sort of just come together between the two of you just organically?
It was. I think it was originally. Yeah, I think it was my idea originally. I've come such a long way in my own kind of personal growth about being positive in myself and my body and how I look. And I really was getting frustrated that I couldn't find representation of myself in stories. And you know what they say, if you write what you want to read. And so that's really kind of where the spark was. I wanted to read fat characters, and the more the better. So why not put out this call into the horror community and see if anybody was interested? And luckily, a lot of people were interested.
That's awesome. And so Sonora, you said that you have written, I think you said 7 books already?
Yes. Let's see. I've written 3 novels and 4 short story collections.
And are they all fat positive, would you say, or?
Probably not as much as they could be. No, admittedly, one of the reasons I thought this anthology was such a great idea is because even though I too get discouraged by the lack of fat representation in fiction, I have a hard time including it myself. I mean, I don't make it a point to talk about how thin and beautiful my characters are, but the ones I have described, especially 2 of my main women protagonists in my novels, they're lanky or on the thinner side. I don't code them as being fat. I don't see them that way either. And part of that was just because of my own struggle of wanting to include fat characters, but we've just been so taught that fatness is bad that I would find myself getting hung up on, well, how do I describe this character without making it sound like I'm insulting them? And so that was one of many good things about this anthology, is just, learning to write a fat character and just be open about them being bigger and not worrying about it sounding like an insult. Because then usually once you just make that description, it's not a big deal. It takes practice for sure. I will say I've been trying to be more deliberate about including those characters in my most recent short story collection, Someone to Share My Nightmares. One of the stories definitely features a fat woman in it.
That's great. I was curious as we were talking, we're talking a lot about how there's not a lot of great representation of fat positive horror, but I was wondering if either of you had some really great representations of fat positive horror that you like or that you would recommend.
We actually wrote it. I was so grateful. We got a chance to write an article for Tor, for Nightfire, and to speak about this, about some of the fat representation in horror. And so we had to kind of dig up some good examples, and it was challenging, I gotta say. I think Sonora, you did a really good one with Manhunt.
Yes.
There was a character in there. That was a great example. Yes.
Yeah, and that was admittedly one that when we were first approached to write it, I hadn't read the book at that point. So I too was having trouble like coming up with it. I'm thinking like, man, I got to do some digging here or else go outside of the genre. And, not that outside of the genre is a cornucopia of like fat representation or good fat representation. I mean, Nico can speak more to this, but, we pointed out in the article that we see more of it in romance at the moment than we do in horror. But yes, I will say the character of Indy in Manhunt was a really good representation, I thought, of a fat character.
And I can't even remember the other ones that we did. Oh my gosh. My thoughts always go to the bad ones, but I can't even remember the good ones. I know it was hard to find. It was few and far between for sure. And like Sonora said, outside of horror, there's definitely been a push in the romance genre. There's been a push for fat women, which is great. It'd be great to see fat men as well and have sort of the diversity in total, but perhaps horror is coming up close to being a genre that will start including fat people. I don't know, hopefully, but yeah, it was a struggle.
Well, I definitely think that, one of the other questions that we had for you was, why make fat positive horror? But I think that we just kind of answered that right here, which is because there's still not enough of it. And all the more reason to put it out into the world. Joshua and I attended Comic-Con this past weekend, and I was at a panel yesterday where they were talking about representation and just how much that it matters and how much that you'll continue to say that until they're blue in the face because it's so important.
It is. And in horror, the thing that is a lot of fat characters are villainized or they're, considered lazy. I mean, it's not just that they're written as kind of sloppy. They are grotesque. They take it so far to the extreme. So I feel like our genre really has to push and to really put some positivity out there because we take it too far. So many really popular authors out there take it too far. So yeah, I think it's good to have this out there to try to challenge that.
Go ahead, Josh.
I mean, I was just going to pick up of what Sonora was talking about a little bit earlier, where I know it's really hard to describe a character in a way that doesn't make it feel like it's a negative description of them to say that they're fat. And I was wondering, because honestly, other than ourselves, you're one of the few people group of people, pair, I guess. One of the few pairs I've seen that uses the term fat positive when it comes to their art. And most people are using body positive or body neutral. Why did you choose fat positive, and what made you choose that sort of description for your work?
Well, they're two different things. So historically, body positive is something very different than fat positivity. Body positivity was started a very long time ago, specifically for marginalized bodies, Black bodies, brown bodies, queer bodies. Eventually, it encompassed fat positivity. Fat positivity is a term under the umbrella of body positivity, which I feel like is something that isn't talked about as much, and so misconceptions get thrown in, and that causes a lot of discrimination and hate and bullying. So we wanted to be very specific. This is fat positivity. We do have body positivity in the stories. There's definitely positive queer representation and Black representation, but this is the focus of this was fat bodies are worthy, respectable, they deserve equality, they fall in love, they save the day, they fight the villains. So that's why we really focused on that term.
It's great.
I love that. So tell us, where can people purchase Diet Riot?
You can find it pretty much anywhere you want to online. It's available on Amazon. It's available through Barnes & Noble. It's on an independent horror site that's really great called Godless, and you can find it in ebook form there for $1 less than anywhere else. It's on Kobo, it's on Apple, it's on Google Play. I frequently link to the Universal Book Link. You could also search for it in paperback form through most online book portals and probably find it. I would definitely recommend checking IndieBound because then you could order it to arrive at your local bookstore. You could also request it on Overdrive for your library's ebook collection. We definitely hit a wide swath with where to find this book.
Sonora basically slayed when it came to distributing this book.
It sounds like it's going to be very easy for anyone who wants to read it to find it.
I was like, we'll put it on Amazon. And she's like, hang on. I have like 20 other places.
I like to keep the options open, you know.
Yeah.
And I love a place called Godless. That sounds so exciting. So.
Yeah, and it's a great website. I would highly recommend looking for horror there. There are a lot of authors there that have their work on that website, and you can usually get it at a discount, and it's supporting like truly independent horror. And what they do is when you buy it, they send you the digital file that you can download in any form to your e-reader.
Oh, fantastic. Good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what? I'd love to know, and I'm sure Josh would too. Each of you tell us what you're working on next. Let's start with Nico.
Well, me and Roxy Vorez are putting out a pro-choice horror anthology, Body Autonomy. Let me try this again. We're putting out a body autonomy pro-choice horror charity anthology with Creature Publishing. It doesn't have a title yet, but it will be out in the fall, and all the proceeds will go to NARAL, N-A-R-A-L, to help with access, abortion access, and pro-choice access. So that's going to be coming out in the fall, and we're really excited about that.
That's awesome. Sonora, how about you?
Well, I'm working on my next book. It's called Errant Roots, and it's about a woman who has only grown up with her mother, but she's going to meet the rest of her relatives who previously she'd been kind of shielded from, in the context of the fact that she's now pregnant and they're going to have a gender reveal party at this house. And that's the very beginning. And it's just slowly uncovering why she's never met them until now. I kind of see it as a combination of The Witch with Ready or Not.
Oh, that is a fabulous description and really intrigues me then, because I love both of those movies so much.
Yeah, I do too. Although I will say, like, I mean, I can't make any promises, but without being too spoiler, I would say no promises because you know how books change when you write them. But
absolutely,
but at the moment, I am seeing this as kind of writing the movie I would have liked to see in terms of just something I disagreed with the ending of one of them. So
fantastic, cool.
Yeah. Incredibly vague, but that's because I don't want to spoil.
No, please don't. Yeah, that keeps it more intriguing.
Yeah, and our audience doesn't want it spoiled for them either, because they, as we'll hopefully see, lots of them are going to come check out your books and books and short stories. The one we're here talking about today has been Diet Riot, a Fatterpunk Anthology. And we heard a lot of ways that you could get that place or get that book from many different places. So if you need to hear it again, rewind. It won't hurt our feelings to listen, and you'll find out all of that. And then we will also put it in the description of the video that we post below. Okay, great. Thank you both again for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for putting fat positive horror into the world.
Thank you.
I hope people enjoy it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure that our fans will enjoy it. So
good.
I can't wait to hear what they say when they pick up a copy.
And folks at home, make sure, don't forget, you can follow both Nico over at Twitter and also has a TikTok and Instagram. And then Sonora is over at Instagram and Twitter right there. So make sure to go follow those folks so you know when new stuff is coming out and support these amazing creators. Oh, that was fun.
And I personally have read Diet Riot, and it is a really adorable collection of stories. The people who wrote them, they have done some really just wide-ranging and really fascinating takes on fat positive horror content. The first story in particular is really catching. They picked a really cute and adorable, which is weird to say for a horror story, but a really cute and adorable horror story for the very first story in the collection. And if you check it out, I think you'll really be surprised by it. There's some really wonderful things in there. I think that it's also a really great collection of representation for fat positive horror for female bodies and women identifying and bodies in there. It's primarily focused on women and women identifying characters, and I think that is a great and definitely underrepresented part of the horror community, as well as you heard them talk about in the interview. So thank you so much, Nico and Sonora, for coming on and joining us. It was really so exciting to have you here. I highly suggest you all pick up Diet Riot. I think that you will enjoy it.
Awesome. Well, we've got time for just one more segment. We have been so happy to have these new segments, and let us know in the comments what you think about these segments. The Anthonics segment, the Bear World News segment. We'll have more Bear World News soon. The Stan the Mechanic recommendations,
interviews.
But we have yet another segment that is really fun. And when does the first episode hit YouTube?
The first episode of Stu Snacks hits YouTube next Sunday.
And how long has it been on Patreon?
It's been on Patreon since yesterday. So
that's right. Well, so already you can head over to patreon.com/sidekick productions to see the first episode of Stu Snacks. But here is the most recent one.
Welcome back to Stu Snacks, the show where my friends serve me food and I have to guess what it is. Today we have.
All right, Stu, you ready? All right.
I can handle it.
You sure? All right. Andrew, he thinks he's sure.
I can find out. Well, I'm not sure. I just think I'm up for the challenge.
So you know you have utensils available. You got to call out to it.
Okay. Is it open?
Nice branding, boys.
Right. Your 10 minutes starts now.
Oh, you got a buzzer and everything. All right, I'm getting closer.
Almost there. Easy.
Oh, all right, we're getting some. All right, I'm close. Okay.
What does it feel like?
It's. Oh, you want to get some ASMR going on this? Wow, that's
You're so gentle. Stuart.
Okay. This is all right. I'm getting some. All right, so I'll leave the plate. You said don't move the plate, but I will go for. Okay, this seems digestible enough. Okay. I should dip into. I have no idea what that is.
Fuck, you got me. What does it smell like?
There's some breadiness. All right, it's not wet. There's a dryness. I think there's an ability for me to pick something.
It's not wet.
Gigantic. I don't know what this is. All right, we're getting somewhere. All right, okay, let's.
Napkins in case
Just
want.
in case, you know. Okay. It's good.
That's good.
Thanks for not choosing something sucky. You know, you chose something good, whatever it is. All right.
That's all preference.
All right, I'm getting some.
He's got to take another bite.
I'm done, man.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, that's really good. It's cheesy.
Cheesy.
What was in the calzone?
Cheese.
Guys, I'm totally cheating. It's good, and I keep eating it, and I don't want to make a guess because I just want to keep eating it, but I don't want this to be over.
Well, you have 10 minutes to figure it out.
All right,
Actually,
no. Thank you.
He's got 7.5 minutes left.
All right, this is really good.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry, Chonka Head.
This is a really good calzone.
Yes.
Is that your final answer?
This is a really good calzone.
Yeah.
It took me a second. Did I get it right?
Is that your final answer?
My guess is that I am eating a calzone.
Yes.
Hey, yeah.
So how long did it take you to actually figure it? What?
Too easy?
Too easy?
I knew in like a bite.
Okay.
This is
Some people never had calzones.
Yep.
Who? Weird people?
Yes. You ever watch Parks and
Have
Rec?
you had
No
calzone?
one-
He's never had a calzone.
Here, you can try some, Josh.
Yeah, take a bite. It's good.
Okay, Josh, quickly, come.
You've
have
never
bite.
had a
Come on.
calzone?
If we're trying to do this,
Blindfold
no,
him.
I know we're trying to pull Josh into this. Just Josh, just literally, just try. Just literally. Oh, should I ruin it because it has sauce now?
No, he
Try
likes
that
sauce.
side.
He likes sauce.
You eat sauce sometimes. Come on, just try that.
likes
Try that
sauce.
real quick.
Just bite the
Don't
sauce.
worry, it's not ricotta.
Just it's the same thing as pizza, just in different.
He hates ricotta. Oh, you just ate ricotta.
It's not ricotta. It's
Oh yes, it is. It's totally ricotta.
No, I thought it was.
It's rigotte. It's rigotte. Okay.
He doesn't like
So
it.
speaking of being, a spontaneous, eater and trying new things, Josh hates rigotte. To which he just ate a bunch of it, and you enjoyed it, right, Josh?
No.
Okay, Josh did not enjoy that. Now, contrary to Josh, I really enjoyed this. This is really good. This is a good calzone. Where'd you get this?
All the places around here are good.
Okay. So this, in fact, is a really good cheese calzone from Queens.
And there you have it. You can't stump Stu. Not today. We failed. Me and Andrew, we failed.
This time.
This time. We'll get him
This
next
time.
time. We'll get him next
You
time.
guys did really good. It's really delicious. I don't know if people are debating what to have for dinner right now, but I highly recommend a calzone. These are the underrated pizza options,
Yeah.
But thank you guys. This is delicious, and thank you all for watching. And we'll see you next time. We'll see if they can stump me.
Yep.
All right. Well,
All right. Bye.
So if we're keeping track, it's now 1-1. Stuart got
1-1.
last week's, and this week he got this one. I'm not surprised that he got calzone because everyone knows calzones because Ben Wyatt loves it from Parks and Rec. So if Ben Wyatt likes it from Parks and Rec, then everyone likes calzones.
But not you.
No, I don't. But I'm like April from Parks and Rec. I don't like anything. So, I don't know if you've seen Parks and Rec, Nakia, but it is a show.
I've not, but I believe you.
There's a whole recurring gag about calzones and how Ben Wyatt, who played by something that I can't remember his name right now. But anyway, Ben Wyatt loves calzones, and everyone else thinks he's ridiculous for it, and because it's
I love a good calzone.
pizza that's harder to eat.
Let us know in the comments below what you.
I love that Kelvin thinks that I had time this weekend to try one of the apple cider donuts, or also that there was any apple cider donuts left over when I was not filming. So.
Yeah, I was told this evening, Kelvin, that he was only fed twice this weekend.
No, not fed. I just only have made time for 2 meals.
I see. Gotcha.
Oh, thank you, Kelvin. Adam Scott. There we go. Adam Scott.
Well, folks, you can see the first episode of Stu Snacks over at the Patreon right now. Go to patreon.com/sidekick productions. We really, really appreciate it. Don't forget, you can also stream the Dueling Pianos original cast recording or my vocal version or the sing-along soundtrack.
And make your own sing-along soundtrack.
Make your own sing-along soundtrack. That's right. And we really appreciate it. We also want to remind you that we have something special happening tomorrow.
Yes. Tomorrow, only for our Patreon members, our Patreon subscribers, we are doing a special live Halloween Power Hour, and it is going to be with the cast and crew of Death Drop Gorgeous, which, if you've heard Stan the Mechanic talk about his favorite horror movies, this is one of his favorite horror movies. It is a slasher film set in New England and is featuring drag queens. And it is a campy, riotous, bloody affair. We're going to be talking to the cast and crew about their favorite scenes, watching some of their scenes, and enjoying that. But this is only live for our Patreon subscribers. So if you want to be live with us tomorrow, at the same time, SideKick Power Hour time, 8 o'clock, New York time. Everyone else, you have to figure out your time and everything. But New York time, you have to be a member of our Patreon to join this. This is one of the special things that we are doing for our Patreon subscribers to give them content that's only available to them. If you want to watch it after the fact, maybe you'll be able to. I don't know. But I also promise, if you watch tomorrow, you will have a super, super, super big surprise coming to you from the Crooniverse. and you will be very excited to see it. Should we tell them what it is, Nikki, or make them come in and watch it?
Now they just have to come and see it.
All right. You're going to have to come and watch it tomorrow. So if you're not a member of our Patreon, now is the perfect time to sign up. You can go there and join for just $3, and you can be part of our super special Halloween live Side Power Hour starting tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So come and check it out. Plus, you get weekly videos every week. That's what a weekly video is. It's every week. So that's a redundant statement I just made right there. But either way, you get a weekly video plus all this other BTS and everything. So you must go and watch it. I'm sorry that you can't watch, don't celebrate Halloween in your country.
Oh.
I did not know that it was forbidden in Arab countries, though. That is something I'm learning right now. Well, you can celebrate with us, though, digitally at least, and we'll be happy to have you there for it.
We hope to see you there tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. Head over to patreon.com/sidekick productions. We will be posting that link tomorrow, I guess.
Well, it will be live tomorrow, yes, but yeah. So go on. You'll find the link only on our Patreon.
Can't wait to see y'all. Thanks so much for a great another episode 3 of season 2.
Yes. Thank you to Jeffrey for joining us tonight. Thank you for Anthonics Maximus himself, Anthony J. Smith, Stuart and Paul and Andrew for another great episode of Stu Snacks, and Nico and Sonora for telling us about Diet Riot. We had a chock full of evening, like I promised, and we've got more in store next time.
We'll see you next time.
And that's the tea.